I'm going to go ahead with the meeting beginning ritual. 起立，面向佛堂，参加先鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，参加各位的传世一鞠躬，开班一鞠躬，请坐下。
Good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to what has turned out to be a remarkably special iteration of the Sunday online Tao study group. And let me wish you all a good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever it is you happen to be, and the wish that you're all doing well today. Today, oddly enough, we're going to talk about receiving a house shrine. Wonder how we got there. And coming up, hopefully, maybe. There we go. Once we get the technology to cooperate, here's a picture of the house shrine and our newest shrine owner. You see in the front of the shrine there next to the offering table on either side is Master William and Nate. He's the new shrine owner, and then behind him is his girlfriend Julie and myself, and behind Master William are Aso and Kate and Gina, who drove for the better part of 2.5 hours to get here this morning, which is pretty doggone astounding. Our two initiates this go around both drove for no, I'm sorry, that was Gina drove last time for initiation. This time Timothy Hauser, who's not in the picture, drove for 2.5 hours to get initiated. And Julie, Nate's girlfriend, was initiated. She didn't have to drive too far, she was here. And as usual, when it comes to directions, I was confused. But that notwithstanding, it was a remarkable set of rituals, and as always, a thrilling and very beautiful sight to behold. I got to tell you, even though I've been a shrine owner for a number of years, having the opportunity to see these processes unfold from the perspective of an observer is a wonderful thing to be able to do, to be able to listen and to absorb and to learn from the conduct of the rituals and the practices without being an active participant. Gives you the ability to gain a much deeper understanding of the processes that are being undertaken. And I'm incredibly thankful to have had several opportunities to see those rituals conducted and to try and learn and understand them. My Chinese has not improved appreciably over the years. I doubt sincerely that it ever really will, although I continue to try. But the more I get to see how these things are done, and the very smooth and professional and easy way in which Master William and in this case these two wonderful ladies conducted the rituals, helps me to understand better how to do them myself. So why does somebody want to become a Cansu, a shrine owner? What is it that happens when one does that? Well, there's a lot. First of all, before we ever get to the point where a house shrine's installed and dedicated, there typically is a fairly prolonged period of Tao cultivation on the part of the shrine receiver, followed by some ad hoc and fairly intense examination by the ordained masters, and perhaps a recommendation or a request by someone such as myself who knows the person who wants to receive the shrine, so that can be communicated to the ordained masters who can make that happen. And in this particular case, then a moderately brief drive up to Michigan to actually go get the hardware. Nate has done all of that over a period of years. And so while we talk a lot about the end result of that process, the point in time at which the shrine owner undergoes the Qingkou ritual, the point in time where the shrine is installed and dedicated, the shrine opening, and the first couple of initiations, those occasions are all marked with quite a bit of fanfare and discussion. Understand that the winding up there required a long time and a lot of work. And so by the time Nate wound up actually receiving the shrine, he'd already created the formal association between himself and the Kuan Tao, in particular, our branch, our golden thread. He'd been through the initiation ritual, right? You can't get a house shrine without being initiated. He had also gone through the Qingkou ritual and had already made the commitment to become vegetarian, and had spoken with Master William and Master Shen on multiple occasions about the possibility of becoming a shrine owner. And at the end of all of that was what occurred this morning, the installation and dedication of the shrine. I have every confidence that Nate is going to make a powerful shrine owner and be an individual that will influence the paths of others to find the authentic Tao's for many years to come. And I'm excited to see that process continue. For the individual who thinks they want to become a shrine owner, there are some commitments, some changes and refinements that have to occur within the life of the person who wishes to receive the shrine. In the West here, one of the big ones is agreeing to become. Questions he had for me as a new initiate was, "Gee, Bill, what about vegetarianism? Do I need to become a vegetarian?" And I said, no, and wish to cultivate the Tao. Vegetarianism is not a requirement. Vegetarian is a requirement for Cansu and the ordained masters because it helps to bring about an end to suffering for sentient beings on this planet. It doesn't actually have much to do with the act of eating the meat. It's more the act of ending the lives of fuzzy little creatures on the earth, which causes them to suffer. And as the individuals who are trying to bring about the way of peace on the earth, allowing that suffering to continue is not beneficial. Second of all, the new shrine owner agrees to cultivate the teachings sincerely and to the best of his ability, knowing full well in advance that we all are going to fall down from time to time. And heaven knows I've fallen on my face in a big way on more than one occasion. A couple of them have been really mortifying. But I guess we all show off our humanity every now and again, and I am absolutely not excluded from that rule. Nate won't be either. But the point is, the commitment is made to do the best we can, to sincerely cultivate the teachings, to sincerely learn everything we can learn, and to apply that education to the refinement and improvement of our lives and our spiritual paths. Once again, we make a commitment to try to end suffering on this planet for everybody. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to be a doormat to be walked all over by everybody with a bad attitude. But what it does mean is that we are legitimately, sincerely concerned with the peace and harmony of every individual with whom we come in contact, and with every other sentient being that we wander into. And we don't want to make any of them suffer if we can possibly avoid it. We make a commitment to help other people in any way that we can. Specifically, what we're trying to do is to help other people find, embrace, and cultivate the authentic Dao teachings. That is not always a simple, straightforward, and easy task. Sometimes that is a nightmarishly difficult task. But nobody asked whether or not we were interested in the level of difficulty, only that we were interested in helping other people to try to find these teachings and refine their lives so that they can enjoy the same benefits we do. Over the years, I have not gotten hundreds and hundreds of people initiated. I'm not sure I've gotten to 100 yet. I don't think so. But the folks that have been initiated through my shrine and the folks that'll be initiated through Nate's will be sincere cultivators of the Dao teachings. And they will carry those truths with them to other people who will become sincere cultivators of the Dao teachings. The key to success is long-term, consistent practice and setting a good example. Along with that is the sincere wish, if you will, metaphorically, to bring about heaven on earth, to change this mundane, secular, sometimes violent, ugly, nasty existence into a much more peaceful, harmonious, beautiful existence by the force of our own will and the power of the virtues of the teachings. It won't be until everyone makes the choice to follow the authentic Tao, to follow the way of peace, that the world can be transformed. But even knowing that we face a near insurmountable task is not a reason to give up. That's simply a reason to keep trying. The last thing you promise to do when you receive the shrine, and this is one where I wrestle with semantics a lot. I'm not sure what the best way to word this is. For me, I say that I made a commitment to practice the Dao teachings as my religion. Our particular path does not come from the religious branch of Taoism. It comes from the philosophical branch. But I cultivate this spiritual path and practice these teachings as my religion. I'm not sure if that statement's going to wind up being completely appropriate for Nate. He's going to have to make that decision and choose his own semantics. But somewhere in there, he's going to find it within himself to cultivate, refine, and grow his own spiritual path. And he'll find his own way to describe that. One of the admonitions that Master William left us with as we were talking this afternoon was to continue the work of studying and learning and then teaching and leading as Cansu, as shrine owners. What he said was that we needed to be aware that part of the purpose of having the house shrine was not only to cultivate the Tao within the family, but to help spread the Tao to the community and the country and the world, to bring the teachings to people who haven't heard them yet and the ones who are looking for a better set of answers. I know over time Nate wants to make his shrine public, which is great. That's a wonderful and worthwhile thing to do. And in so doing, he will begin to participate in what we refer to as the heavenly mission, along with me and to a larger extent, the ordained masters. As we do that, we're going to have to try and teach people in this kind of crazy Western culture that, yeah, folks, the authentic Dao teachings have some rules to them. That not all paths that one can undertake are aligned with the Dao. That the statement that everything comes from the Dao may be technically true, but that doesn't make what you're doing necessarily okay. It means helping other people to find a deeper truth, to find like I said, a better set of answers. It means spreading those teachings to others and helping them understand it. And in this day and age, with the internet and the church of what's happening now running around all over the place, it is sometimes difficult to convince people that the all-inclusive Tao doesn't exist and that not every aberrant behavior is okay, all right, and good. Because all things ultimately spring from the Tao, I suppose it's possible, and someone might even see it as potentially beneficial to say, I don't feel like it, I'm not going to take a bath for a month because it's not part of my nature. And that may be the case. I can promise you I'm not going to be anywhere near that individual after about a week. But he can follow that nature if he wants. The real authentic Dao teachings include a certain degree of sensitivity to the needs and desires of other people, and a certain harsh, very honest and bright vision of our own natures, aimed at the refinement of our spirituality and the improvement of our lives. Helping other people understand those same truths is very often antithetical to their current thinking, but absolutely necessary to helping them to achieve, some kind of authentic spirituality. In return for all of that effort, and there is some effort involved, the shrine owner becomes part of a larger family. I tell people that Master William is one of my dearest friends in the entire world, and my teacher, master, and mentor, and he is. I have relied on his guidance, as well as the guidance of Senior Master Yang, who and Derek, for years. And without their help and guidance, I could not have even begun to have accomplished what I've done over the last several years or gotten anywhere close to it. I don't have all the answers. I don't even pretend to have all the answers. Sometimes I don't have any of the answers. But I have people I can go talk to. I have people I can ask. And having that support from the ordained masters, from my older Tao brothers and sisters, from the friends that I have there at the temple, and gives me resources that I otherwise might not have to solve problems and figure out situations and to gain guidance, understanding, and teaching from. The time that Master William and I have spent over this weekend just off by ourselves, talking, allowing him to teach me so that I could understand things more deeply, understand things a little better. Those are some of the best times I've ever had, and he has always had time to talk to me. I have not always been the smartest, most sensitive, easiest to teach Caucasian person on the face of the planet. When I think about the years when I first started cultivating the Dao Teachings, I think I quite possibly was much more of a pain than a blessing. And yet, both Senior Master Yang and Master William saw some kind of value in keeping me around and put an awful lot of time and energy into helping me understand. That's remarkably important. And just in case I haven't been clear enough, being able to rely on the ordained masters for assistance and guidance is important. Those guys didn't get to where they are randomly or by chance. They got there because they know what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a long time, and their insights are valuable. I can call Master William about any time I want, but you all have him there day in and day out. To not avail yourselves of that guidance and that wisdom is a crime. Yeah. So why do you do this? If you're considering it at the moment, I've painted a somewhat less than easy, effortless picture here. I'm going to tell you it's not so bad. It truly isn't. You got to have a desire to help others. You got to have a desire to evolve your own spirituality and to refine your life. You want to receive the benefits that come along with cultivating the Dao Teachings. And if one cannot see the value in the Dao Teachings, then one certainly doesn't need to be thinking about becoming a shrine owner, right? We need to understand those benefits before we think about trying to go sell them to somebody else. We need to have a desire to bring those teachings to the world. We need to understand the value deeply enough that we understand the worth in helping other people find them. And once again, I'm going to put in my shameless plug for folks like Derek and Master William, since I'm talking about this anyway. You have access to people who can do you a lot of good. People who understand life and living, people who understand spirituality, people who understand these teachings. Our ordained masters, folks like Derek, who are natively bilingual, who understand the Dao De Jing inside and out, who understand the oral traditions as well as the written text and the history and the culture. You can't buy college level classes at any university anywhere that come close to the level of education we can receive at this temple, simply because of the presence of Derek and the ordained masters. And so while we're availing ourselves of their knowledge, wisdom, and assistance, it might not be too bad to occasionally say thank you. I know an awful lot of work goes into Derek's presentations. if you're considering it, and I certainly hope most, if not all of you are at some point, I wish that for you. Understand that the choice to become a shrine owner is a serious commitment. It's a big deal. It's not something you take lightly. You got to do what you say you're going to do and not do what you say you're not going to do. Or you need to have a really good reason for why you didn't. You got to remember that even when you don't know people are watching, people are watching. So you want to do your best to behave as you should. When you become a shrine owner, by definition, you express not only a desire to refine yourself, but to help others find and cultivate the Dao teachings as well. And just like cultivating the Dao teachings, becoming a shrine owner is a long-term commitment. It comes with a lot of benefits. It's wonderful for helping one learn to live life smoothly and harmoniously and easily. But that doesn't happen overnight usually. It normally takes several years to get there. And one needs to be prepared to make the investment of time and effort in order to reap the benefits. The refinements of one's spiritual life, the improvement of one's secular life, comes because of the transformation of the mind and the spirit. And those things are not typically transformed quickly and easily. So don't be afraid of a little hard work or a little effort. I will tell you all very honestly, I've been doing this for a little better than 10 years, and I've never considered it to be work per se. It's never been a burden. It's never been a problem. The most work-like thing I think we've ever had to do was when we went up to Michigan. And even that was fun. I got to hang out with some of my favorite people in the entire world, and we got to get to a shrine. You just do the best you can do. When you fall down, you get up and you keep trying. And hopefully somewhere, sometime, some way, we can get everybody to kind of think like this. And then the world will be transformed. Nate, congratulations, guy. I'm all kinds of happy for you. And he's sitting right here, so I can actually look at him and say that. Thank you all awfully much for letting me share with you. I hope something I said was helpful, even though this was more congratulatory than anything. And I truly hope that amongst the English-speaking group here, that you will consider going down this path, as well as going down the path of Tao cultivation. It is a worthwhile and wonderful path to explore. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you for the photo of Nate's shrine. It looks absolutely beautiful.
It's very nice.
And I absolutely agree with you as well, Bill. Tao cultivation, preparing presentations, spreading the message of the Tao, yes, it takes time. It does require effort, but I agree with you 100%. It's a joy. It's a lot of fun to engage in. It's great when it actually impacts someone else, another sentient being whose life has been transformed. I can't even begin to talk about how that feels, and I know you've seen it yourself, and you know exactly what I mean by that.
I do, and it's very cool.
So as far as Master William, the question that I wanted to ask you is that many people online have not had a chance to meet him. And I think that a lot of them have read some of my books, so they can sort of like get to know me through the books, but they've not had a chance to really get a sense for what Master Williams is like. And as I mentioned, you've known him for more than 10 years now, 10 plus years, so I think you know him pretty well. So for those that haven't met him, can you briefly describe Master William for them?
Sure. He is the most approachable, down-to-earth, easy to talk to person you ever wanted to meet in your life. The initial impression you'll get when you meet him is that he genuinely cares about you, and I think he does. He's unbelievably quick, very, very smart, very bright, just has tons of common sense and boatloads of wisdom and a pretty doggone good sense of humor. I don't know. It's a real remarkable mix of personality traits. He's just the kind of person you want to be around. There's just, it's almost some kind of magnetism, and that trait is not uncommon amongst the ordained masters, by the way. I've known Master William personally for a lot of years, and so he and I maybe are perhaps a little closer than some others. But like I said, he's just the most approachable, down-to-earth, sweetest guy you ever wanted to meet. And if you seek him out, he'll do everything he can to help you. I'm not sure what else I can say.
I think that was good in a nutshell. And also, I wanted to mention that I had an opportunity to meet with Nate, so I got a sense of what Nate is like, and he doesn't usually talk that much. So I think in the beginning of our meeting today, I think that was the most that I've actually heard him speak. So
yeah, pretty much.
So thank you, Nate, for that. And also, I really kind of feel like Nate is a natural when it comes to Dao cultivation. He shares that attribute with many others that I have met. Those who take to the Tao tend to be people who are not interested in putting themselves up for display. They don't reveal that much about themselves because, frankly, there's a lot to know about them. These are the people with a lot of depth. Nate mentioned that this was an overwhelming experience for him, obtaining the shrine, and that for me that reminds me of what Gina has said about her initiation, and in fact it's the same kind of description that I would give for my own experience going through those rituals. So there's definitely commonality there, and I know that Ed, when he received his shrine, he said the exact same things. Mm-hmm. For Ed, in fact, let me say a little bit about Ed's experience. Ed, as you know, Bill, he has studied many different styles, Kung Fu, Wushu, many different schools, and he has studied them deeply. He's actually done the same thing with meditation as well. He's much more widely knowledgeable with meditation, and also with each school of meditation, he has gone far more deeply into each one than anyone else I know. So he's extremely experienced when it comes to that. And initially, so he lives in Valencia, and he lives close to another two Dao cultivators who are my friends, and that's Rosalind and Joey. And they have their own shrine, which is beautiful in its own right. So it turned out that Ed asked Rosalind and Joey Chen if he could meditate at their shrine. When he did that, he sensed that it was far more profound, a state that he could reach. There was some incredible energy about it, and that was the beginning of him wanting to obtain a shrine. So now that he does have his shrine at his training center, he's conducting meditation classes out of there. So for Nate as well, I think hopefully that's something that you guys will take advantage of. That this beautiful shrine is the perfect place to quiet and center yourselves and to go into a very deep state of transcendental meditation. And I think it'll be extremely beneficial for cultivation.
I think so.
So as far as this sharing the Tao that Master William has talked about, I would further add that the authentic Tao that we have experienced, that we have shared, this is what actually benefits people. Bill, you like to talk about the church of what's happening now, and I understand completely where you're coming from. I think my primary objection to the church of what's happening now is that what they talk about are things that don't help people really change. They get talked into this false sense of peace, but oftentimes they're just glossing over some of the very real issues that they have in life. Whereas in the authentic tradition of the Tao, people are encouraged to take on those issues and to seek real solutions, so that when you actually have made some progress on the path of the Tao, you will know it and you will be extremely happy because of it. For that reason, if nothing else, I think the duty, the heavenly mission, is indeed a sacred task. For you, Bill, for myself, for Nate, for everyone who is cultivating the Tao.
Let's go ahead and do the meeting ending ritual, everybody. 起立，面向佛堂，持架3鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，3鞠躬，持架规则是1鞠躬，接班一鞠躬。Okay, everybody, we are done.